So today I'm really excited to show you all about the Husqvarna Viking Ruffler attachment for your sewing machine. And this one is made specifically for the designer series machines, and I absolutely love it. And it has 4 different settings that is really easy to select. You just have a little bar and you select which one you want. And you can choose to ruffle every 1 stitch, every 6 stitches, every 12, or you can choose not to ruffle at all, just straight stitch if you need to sew a seam really fast or something. But it's really fun to use. I'm going to show you how to install it. And the first thing I would do is go ahead and automatically thread your needle. Use your automatic needle threader. Now you can use this when the ruffler is attached, but it becomes a little bit more difficult because the right side is a little bit hard to access. So go ahead and just remove your shank and swing your ruffler attachment around. And I should point out, this little bar right here needs to go right over this piece of your sewing machine. So go ahead and move that up, swing your ruffler attachment around, make sure you get that right over the bar, swing it in, and screw it in place. There we go, and just tighten with your screwdriver attachment so you make sure it's good and attached and not going anywhere. We don't want that. And so what I'm going to do right away, the first thing, is just show you how full the ruffle is when you choose to ruffle every 1 stitch. So I've gone ahead and selected that. I'm just going to go ahead and choose this piece of fabric and feed it in right here. And you can see there's a little guide on the right side so you can help to get a nice even seam allowance rather than get something all hooly-booly. And I have my sewing machine set with a stitch length of 3. And you can vary the effect of the ruffler by changing your stitch length. You'll get more ruffles with a shorter stitch length and less ruffle with a longer stitch length. So go ahead, just lower down your presser foot and begin to ruffle. And you can see, go ahead and raise your presser foot to release the threads, how full that ruffle is when you choose to have a ruffle every 1 stitch. And for certain things you might really want that effect, a nice full ruffle. But what I'm going to do next is show you every 6 stitches. So I'm just going to go ahead and swing my bar up and over the 6. Easy. And choose this piece of fabric, which is exactly 10 inches long, and that's so I can show you the conversion factor you're going to need to know should you ever want to guesstimate how much fabric you'll need specifically after you've gone ahead and ruffled. So this is 10 inches long, and 10 just makes it nice and easy to do the math. But I will show you. This fabric satin is a little bit ravelly, so go ahead and ruffle, lower your foot every 6 stitches. So I'm going to go ahead and raise my presser foot to release the threads. And when I'm ruffling, when I have this ruffler attached to my machine, I really like to not use the automatic thread cutter, just because sometimes when you use it, you tend to lose your needle thread. It becomes unthreaded occasionally. So just to make it easier on yourself, just go ahead and pull the threads back and use the thread cutter attached on the side of your machine. So right here I have this every 6 stitches ruffle. And so what I'm going to do right now is grab my little ruler and measure it out. So let's see. Now it looks like it has gone down to 6 inches in length. So I'll go ahead and write that down and tell you all about that later, just so you can anticipate. So anyways, now I'm going to show you every 12 stitches, and just go ahead and swing your bar around to every 12 stitches. And this is, you know, as the least amount of stitches that you can get right next to straight stitch sewing. So I'm going to go ahead and lower everything down and ruffle away. And you can see a very nice, still ruffled effect, but very different than every 6 ruffles, and very different than every 1 ruffle. So anyways, now what I'm going to show you is you can go ahead and attach a ruffle to something when you're just as you ruffle, I should say. You can attach a ruffle automatically to something while you're ruffling your fabric. And make sure that if you're doing this on a garment, you want the right sides together to make the seam hidden. And I'll do that just so you can see. Make sure the right sides are together. So the right side is up on the bottom and it's down on the top, and you will be able to fold this out and have a beautiful little ruffle. Alright, right sides together every 6 stitches. Now I'm guiding the fabric, both pieces. Alright, raise everything. Cut your threads, and you can see when you turn it out, how cute, how fast. And what the ruffler is really doing is creating little pleats perfectly. Every few increments you're getting an even amount of pleating. And you can see how it's hidden on the back when you do right sides together. So now I'm going to show you how you would figure out how much fabric you would need to buy in order to get a desired length of fabric after you had gone ahead and ruffled. So what you need to do, and this is a little bit of sewing math, and remember that 10-inch strip of fabric we had? You need to write that down. And I like to use 10 because it's a nice, easy, even number to divide things into. So we take 10 inches. And that's what we began with. And we ended up with 6. So you need to take what you had, which was 10 inches in the beginning, and divide it by what you got. So you take 10, divide by 6, and that's 1.66666. Tons of 6s. So 1.6 is our conversion factor. So now what we need to do is say, oh, let's say I wanted to make a skirt for Madeline Fogg over there. I know Madeline has a waist that's 13 inches in length. So we'd take 13 inches and we would multiply that by our conversion factor. 13 times 1.6. We would need 20.8 inches of fabric to get 13 inches of ruffled fabric. So now what I would do, and I'm just sorry I wrote that down, so what I would do is buy a little bit extra. Just make sure you have extra fabric, because sometimes at the beginning you lose about an inch, and sometimes at the end you may lose some, and you want to give yourself extra fabric for your seam allowances. So if I got the number 20.8 for little Madeline Fogg, I would give myself an extra 2 inches of fabric, and go up, you know, in extra fabric as your project may need. You don't ever want to run out of fabric. It's always good to have a little bit extra than not enough, because then you have to start everything all over. But anyways, this is the ruffler attachment, and I hope you like this, and I hope it makes you interested in it, and I hope you enjoyed. Thanks.